Hey, love. Welcome to the podcast. This is a space where we are done pretending that in order for you to achieve the goals, the dreams, the desires that you have deep aching within your heart, that you have to do it like men. We are done playing by the rules that were not really designed for us in the first place. The ones that say that our bodies, our menstrual cycles don't exist, that business has to be hard, that we have to hustle hard in order to achieve what we want. In this space, business gets to feel so freaking good. We get to ride with the waves of what your body is actually asking you to do, what deep down in your soul you know that you were here and called to do. As a woman who has been there, done that, and hustled my way through so much, forced myself, built a business like a man for many, many years, here is what I know to be true. You don't need another strategy. You don't need more discipline. You don't need to be more consistent. And you definitely don't need to just work harder. You need rhythm. You need safety within the body. You need the business that's going to feel so freaking good and that moves with you and with the laws of the universe. On this podcast, we're going to talk about what it really looks like to lead as a woman. We talk about menstrual cycles, money, identity, visibility, power, building wealth, and really ultimately becoming the kind of woman who doesn't need permission to go after her dreams or to take up space in this world. So take a deep breath and let's build the life that you desire the feminine way. All right, love, this episode may get a little bit spicy because I am feeling so fired up and so kind of triggered, but triggered in the absolute best way, like triggered in OMG, I need to talk about this. Like we need to open up this discussion. And so I'm going to open up the discussion. The discussion is in regards to this construct, this idea that using our menstrual cycle as a means of creating more success, becoming more productive, like using it in our businesses, is a form of contributing to patriarchy and capitalism. And then it's negative. It's like something we shouldn't be doing. And I find it so fascinating and so serendipitous that I got one of these comments and one of these messages on one of my ads during a call where I was coaching a client through being visible and being okay with the negative comments and things that come into our world. And so in this call, I am walking my client through her like next level expansion, like her stepping out in this visibility, like her taking up space in the world and saying what she really wants to say without fear of what could be the backlash, right? The fear of judgment, the fear of being rejected, the fear of being misunderstood, all of those things. And when I get one of those comments, when I get one of those messages, which happen I don't want to say regularly, but fairly commonly, I get these messages. I 100% believe it's just being misunderstood. And one, I'm completely okay with it. But two, I think that this time it triggered me for a very different reason that you might suspect. It triggered me not in the place of like, oh, I spoke up and now somebody's coming at me and saying that the way and what I'm doing is wrong. But it triggered me in the actual construct of what the message is saying. So I know this may get a little bit rambly because this kind of the way my mind works. I love sometimes with AI, I can just like ramble like this and it'll actually put it in a little bit more of a coherent flow because my mind just kind of goes in these scattered different directions. But the idea is that like the post that this person said was, hey, how are we taking this feminine thing and putting it into a place of productivity? We need to just keep the womb and our femininity sacred, and we need to keep it feminine. And for me, like my first reaction was, why is our womb and our femininity and achieving success or wealth or going after our goals seen as a patriarchal construct? Why? Isn't that an inherently a patriarchal construct that a woman can't tap into her womb energy? She can't tap into her feminine energy. She can't use that as a tool and an asset in the way she pursues her goals and gifts, her impact, her wealth, her success in life. And if she does, that's putting it in this patriarchal construct. Are you following? Like, is this making sense? Like, I think it's actually the belief that using our cycles in this way is a patriarchal construct is in fact the actual definition of a patriarchal construct. Because what that's implying is that in order for a woman to actually tap into her femininity, she needs to tap into her womb when she taps into her body, when she taps into her sensuality, that is separate from actually creating success, wealth, and going after her goals. That they can't coexist together. And the idea that they can't coexist together is a patriarchal construct that keeps women playing small. Is this landing? Like, is this making sense? Like, I wish I had the feedback right now, because for me, when I think about that, I now believe that your womb and your body are, as a woman, are our greatest sources of our desires. They're the greatest source of our inspiration, our ideas, like our gifts, the things that we're meant to bring here into the world, our desires. And I know that a lot of the women that I work with do desire to make a lot of money, and not from a place of, I just want wealth and money because I'm greedy, but because the women that I work with, they want to do amazingly good things in the world. One of my clients wants to purchase a ton of property to help kind of reverse the pollution and the climate change and all the things that we're doing there, to put bee farms on these properties so that we can save the bees and help repopulate and help restore this like regenerative farming sort of practice. Like, she has this massive vision to help heal the world through the money that she brings in with her business. It's not coming from this place of like, I want to rise to the top and own all of this money just so that I can own this money and have all this money and be really greedy. The women that I know are going after massive amounts of wealth because they want to take that wealth and help transform and create good in the world. The belief that women can't own wealth or can't pursue wealth without it being a capitalistic or patriarchal construct, I think is the very thing that's limiting so many women. We exist in a capitalistic society, and like, we can't just like resist the capitalist society and expect anything to change. The way that we change is from the inside out. And the idea that women can't tap into their greatest skills, their greatest gifts, their greatest assets in order to manifest that within their world, I believe is the very definition of a patriarchal construct. So all of these women, which I will tell you, it's women. It's not men coming at me telling me that this is a patriarchal construct. It is women coming at me and saying that by me giving women tools and resources and assets for them to be able to tap into their bodies, tap into their menstrual cycles, to tap into what's actually their lived capacity and rhythm, and helping them tap into how they want to create their world, how they want to build their businesses, how they want to go after their life, and to be able to trust themselves in the process. The women that are coming at me and telling me that that is a patriarchal capitalistic thing, I think are the very definition of what's creating a capitalistic society, a patriarchal society. Maybe not capitalistic, patriarchal for sure. Because it's keeping women playing small. It's telling women that you cannot access your gifts. You cannot access what makes you unique as a woman and actually use that for success. That if you have to tap only into your femininity as a means of sacredness, of femininity, of softness, of slowness, of like this energy that I don't, like I said, I don't know 100% if I'm making sense in this, but I think what is being said is that femininity is not associated with ambition, and that you can't exist in both, that your womb and your sacredness cannot actually be you going after your biggest wild goals and dreams in the world, that you can't pursue that biggest ambition and vision that you have for your life associated with your cycle or associated with your womb or your femininity, but that they're apart from each other. But I, in fact, believe it's the actual opposite of that. That it's when women are fully embodied in their womb, they're fully embodied in their bodies, they're in their menstrual cycles, they're in their essence of who they are as a woman. I believe that is when they actually get to step in and fully express themselves into the world, that they achieve the biggest, wildest, most beautiful things in the world through that. They're not separate from each other. They're not apart from each other. Where in the rule book is it say that women can't desire wealth? Where is it that women cannot achieve success, that women can't be productive with where they're spending their time? Because it's, for me, when women are actually spending time, when they're more productive with their time, they actually have spaciousness in their life to actually show up in the way that they want to. When women have more space in their capacity, in their minds, they actually get to give back in bigger and better ways. They get to play. They get to explore the sensuality. They get to explore their body. They get to explore fun and joy and all of these things. There's so much that happens when a woman is able to create a little bit of space in her life because she's more effective at the way she's performing her stuff. How is that patriarchal? That we're actually liberating women to get off of this hamster wheel and off of this hustle bus of going and pushing and going harder and just producing and producing and producing all the time. But when instead we can shrink the time that it takes her to put that effort in. When she becomes more effective at what she's doing and instead now has the space to actually pursue passions. She has the space to pursue joy. She has the space to actually sit with her body. She has the space to actually be. How is that patriarchal? I think it's almost this essence, like I said, of the actual opposite, that when we keep women in this place of saying they have to continue, they cannot become more effective at what they're doing. They cannot become productive at what they're doing. They cannot use their bodies in a way to maximize what they're doing. And instead, we're going to keep them on the struggle bus. We're going to keep them on the hustle bus instead of helping them tap into these strengths that they have. We're going to keep them in this place of thinking that if they tap into their bodies for productivity, that is a capitalistic, patriarchal sort of construct. And instead, that's going to keep them in this loop of having to continue to struggle and to continue to hustle and to continue to have to outperform and to push and to strive and to do all these things that keeps them bondaged from actually being able to show up in the way that they want to. I don't know if the true essence of what I'm saying is coming through in this message, because it's truly channeled just in the moment because I got so fired up about this. But when we look at this idea that using our menstrual cycle as a means of being more productive as a capitalistic, patriarchal sort of thing, I think what we're doing is actually creating that. You are bondaging women into believing that their bodies, that their assets, that the rhythms that they have that are innate within their bodies are something that they are not allowed to leverage unless they're in this patriarchal sort of way, right? That in order for them to leverage their actual femininity, to be able to step into and embody who they actually truly are from the core and the parts of how their bodies actually show up for them, and that in order for them to be in their bodies and to be in this feminine and hold our wombs as this sacred vessel, is that means we don't achieve anything. We don't go after anything. We just continue to keep in the cycle of what we're doing right now. It just doesn't make sense to me. Women right now are in this place of being torn and pulled in all of these different directions. And there's so many messages out there that are teaching us and telling us that femininity is women just staying at home, just being a housemaker. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with staying home and being a housemaker. But what I am pinning at and where I'm really frustrated is this association that means that those women don't have dreams, that those women don't have goals, those women don't have ambitions, that there's nothing that they're going after. And if they do, that's them stepping out of this place of their femininity. This idea that women have to just be in the home. They just have to serve and support their men. Which, if we reverse history and we look back, this idea of the patriarchy did not always exist. There was a time and a space when women were actually the leaders, when women were actually leading countries, when women were actually leading their families, when all of these things. The idea that women are subservient to men is an idea that was introduced into humanity. It has not always existed there. And when I look at this, like, I feel like when women understand their bodies and they understand their femininity and they understand their cycles and they understand how that can help them achieve their wildest, biggest goals and dreams, you know what comes up for them? Freedom, liberation, abundance. Now tell me, how is a woman achieving freedom, liberation, and abundance patriarchal? That sounds like the opposite of that, does not? But when I think, oh, a woman cannot tap into her womb power and she cannot tap into her body or her cycle and use that as a means to achieve success and wealth and her goals, that is patriarchal. I think we've got it backwards, my friend. I think we've got it backwards. Anyway, I will probably sit with this idea and this, because like a little bit of a rampage a little bit more, because this is the first time it's really come up in this way for me. Like I said, it triggered me in a very different way than I anticipated. Like, it doesn't usually trigger me when I get these messages because I know people are going to misunderstand me. Like, people are going to misunderstand you. If you're speaking up and sharing your truth and you're making the impact that you're meant to make in the world, there will be a whole slew of people that disagree with you. And if you're not getting them now, then that means you're likely not standing up and speaking loud enough. And so I know that. Like, I know that there are going to be people that disagree with me. I know that there's going to be people that think poorly of me. I know that there's going to be people that misunderstand me. I know that. And so like these messages, when they come in, they're kind of like, yep, you misunderstood me. And I've just grown to know that and love that and be okay with that. But this time it hit me so much deeper. Because it wasn't about that person. It's not about me, but it's about every single woman who's still trapped in that lie and that belief that her femininity and her ambition can't go together. Because when femininity and ambition go together, we see that as patriarchal. When I think it's the exact opposite, that a woman who is fully liberated, fully in her body, that is when she actually creates the biggest levels of success she wants in her life. So anyway, I will see you in the next episode. Bye, friend. All right, love. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode with me. It was such a pleasure and honor to be able to spend and hold space with you today. If you would love to dive into more, I invite you to grab a free copy of my book, Cycle Sync Your Business. You just head on over to reneefieck.com/free book, and you can grab that free copy. It'll ship directly to your door. Or you can go over to reneefieck.com/The Feminine Way to grab the first couple chapters on audiobook so you can listen on the go wherever you are, however you want. And if you're interested in learning more about how you can work with me inside your Cycle Advantage or the Awaken Retreat, I invite you to head on over to reneefieck.com and check both of those two programs out. With that, I will see you in the next episode. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day.